they don't realize how vulnerable and how humiliating it can be as an actor. They think, oh, because this person's an actor, they act. They can act. That's just what you do. That's all you bring to the table. You act, so you have to be good at it. Whether you've studied acting, have not studied acting, or are in the process of studying acting, there is always going to be one thing that you absolutely need if you want to find work as an actor. And that is a showreel. And the ironic thing is, even if you do study acting, you don't necessarily leave with a showreel. I, for example, did a 3-year bachelor's in acting, and I came out with nothing to show for it, putting me in the exact same position as someone who has not done a 3-year course in acting, someone who has not spent a bunch of money on a 3-year course. So basically, you need a showreel. And it doesn't matter if you have or haven't studied acting, you need a showreel to find work. So as I said, when I graduated, I didn't have I didn't have anything to show for it. I did a few student films at my time at university. However, I didn't get any of them back. Or, well, that's a bit of a lie. I did get a few back, but the ones I did get back, I felt didn't really paint me in the best light.
Yeah.
The female mouths.
Yeah.
I love it all. Everything women, you know.
Yeah.
Some would even call me a womanizer.
So I didn't use them. But yeah, most of the films I did do, I never got back, and that's a bit of a problem because then you've given your time to these directors for free in return for nothing, which sucks. So that said, despite graduating with absolutely nothing to show for it almost 2 years ago, within the last few months I've managed to build myself a diverse and professional showreel that I think shows me in my best light. It shows off my strengths. And in this video I want to show you how I went from having no showreel material at all to now having quite a decent showreel, and it was completely self-reliant. I didn't need to rely on anyone. And one quick thing, I also want to show you how you can get your showreel this afternoon. It doesn't need to take weeks, it doesn't need to take months, it definitely doesn't need to take years. You can have your showreel this afternoon if you really, really want it. Okay, so before I get into exactly what I did to get my showreel, I think it's really important to address why it's so important as an actor to be self-reliant, to be self-sufficient, especially in the early days of your career, like I assume you guys watching and myself as well. As an actor, especially when you do student films, you're sort of seen as a prop. You're sort of seen as another or a piece of the set. For example, the lights. What's the goal of the lights? To light the set. The actor. What's the goal of the actor? Just to act. And that's sort of how you're seen. And because the directors that you tend to work with in these student films are very inexperienced and are still learning, just like you and I are in the acting field, I don't think they give you the best direction because they don't realize how vulnerable and how humiliating it can be as an actor. They think, oh, because this person's an actor, they act. They can act. That's just what you do. That's all you bring to the table. You act, so you have to be good at it. But really, in my opinion, all it means to be an actor, it just means you want it a lot, but it doesn't mean you don't find it scary. It doesn't mean it's not vulnerable or humiliating. So I feel like the directors don't really understand your perspective, and they can give you very, if if any direction at all, but they tend to give quite vague or oddly specific direction, which can just confuse the actor and result in you not giving your best performance. So even if you do get the film back, you're probably not going to want to use it. And by the way, I've been directing films as well for a little bit now, and I fall victim to exactly what I just said as well. That's partly why I'm bringing it up, because I've seen myself experience it from the actor's perspective, but I also see myself doing it from a director's perspective, so I know it happens. And I'm trying to change that from a director's perspective, but yeah, that definitely does happen, and it can make the actor's performance worse. The second thing, which is the main thing, you're probably not going to get it back. What these film students tend to not think about is, as an actor, when you say yes to doing their film, you're saying no to doing someone else's film. So you're giving them your time for free most of the time. And the reason you're doing that isn't just because, I want to be, I want to help you out. No, it's you want something in return. You want to have material for your showreel. That's really all you're thinking about. So you whether it's a day shoot, 2 day shoot, however long it is, you're giving your time to this crew, to this director, and then you wrap, great, and months go by, nothing. And what happened to me a lot is, okay, send a message, hey, I'm looking to, build up my showreel. How's the film looking? You either get one thing. You either get two things. You either get one of two things. That's what I mean. The first thing is, it's not ready yet. We're still working on it, which is very valid if it's true. Or the second thing is, my editor vanished. Oh, sorry, mate, my editor vanished. I'm sorry. Oh, well, great. I don't have material for my showreel. Going back to the first thing that can happen. We're working on it. It's coming along. Cool. Okay, another month, another 2 months, another 3 months goes by. Hey, just checking in again. How's the film looking? Tends to go to the second option. My editor vanished. Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay. But hey, I'm looking to shoot another film. Sorry. If you want to be involved. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. So then you shoot another film, and then a year later, my editor vanished. So anyway, I'm taking my sweet time with this. My point is, most of the student films you do, even if you do, you either do get them back and you're not happy with them, or you do them and you just never get them back. So it's a waste of your time. So you should not rely on anyone for your showreel. And here's the good news. There was a time when, not too long ago, when you sort of had to rely on people to perform in something. You need a film crew to shoot something. You need to act in a project. However, now everyone's got one of these. So you can make your own showreel. And this is what I've done. After I graduated, actually I started before, when I was in my third year, but I basically took a 2-year break from acting, over 2 years actually, just to work on filmmaking I didn't study filmmaking, but just in my own time, I just thought, okay, I'm going to make as many films as possible. And since then, I've made quite a few films. Some are okay, some are just so bad, but it doesn't matter. I've improved. I've improved a lot over the last 2 years because I've just made films. And now I'm in a position where I can, if I want to act in something, I can film it myself. I don't need to rely on anyone. I don't need to have that constant, if I do this project, is it going to be worth my time? Because am I even going to get it back? If I want to build a showreel, which I've just done, I'll just do it myself. And I've done this, whether I'm shooting with another friend, so there's 2 of us, or whether it's just completely on my own, it's possible. It's possible to shoot scenes completely on your own now. And yes, I've got a nice camera, but you don't need a nice camera. You can use your phone, and soon I plan on making a video about how to make, good films, cinematic films with your phone. But most of it comes down to the edit when it comes to making it look cinematic. It comes down to the sound and the color grading, in my opinion. So the quality of your camera, I don't think makes that much of a difference, especially if you're just trying to make something for your showreel. Okay, so how do you make a showreel? The good news is you don't need to spend 2 years like I did trying to learn film to create a showreel. You can do it in an afternoon. If you look at the scenes I've now used for my showreel out of the films I've made, they tend to just be a single shot. Like, literally no cutting, just one shot. And if there is cutting, very minimal cutting. So all you need to do to build a showreel is film one shot of you acting, but make it look like it's in a larger production. Make it look like it's one shot out of a larger scene, because that's all they want. That's all the people want to see. They just want to see one shot of you. They don't care about flashy editing. They don't want to see like a really intense, action scene or whatever. No, they want to see your face in action acting. And the best way to see that is through a singular take. And that's not just for amateurs. This is even in cinema. You look at big films, a lot of big films, the best acting moments are one takes. So you just need to take a one take, but write it as if it's from a big film, from a full film. Write it like it's write it as if it's just a fragment out of a bigger production. And that's all you need to do. And just do 3 or 4 of those and you're done. You've got your showreel. You can do it today. Just over the last few weeks, I released 2 films that I made with both of those I made with a friend. And, mate, we shot them in like an afternoon. That's not to flex, because you can tell, narrative-wise, that we shot them in an afternoon. But all you need is one take. And I've got multiple one takes that I can use from both of those films to add to my showreel. That's all it takes. You no longer need to rely on anyone. We're in a time where, as actors, we can empower ourselves in ways that were not possible before. So make the most of it. Empower yourself. That's what I've done, and I feel great about it. As for the editing, there's so many tutorials on YouTube. That's how I learned editing, all on YouTube. So you can find anything you need to know on YouTube. If you do need any help, I also am a professional editor. So you can send me a message via my website linked below if you need any help with the editing. But you shouldn't need any help. It's very basic stuff. The main thing I would say is just The sound, make sure you're filming indoors, so there's no crazy loud sounds, because that's one thing that makes it sound unprofessional, and if it sounds unprofessional, it's going to look unprofessional. And the second thing is the color grading, which you can follow a tutorial on the internet for, or send me a message. Yes, DaVinci Resolve, it's free. It's the software I would recommend for, especially for color grading. Even if you're shooting on a phone, you have so much freedom and flexibility with DaVinci Resolve, so definitely check that out. And it's free, I think I mentioned that, but yeah. So yes, that is how to build your showreel today without relying on anyone. I'm also planning something, a way for people trying to become actors. I'm planning a sort of event that I'll host here on the YouTube channel for anyone to take part in, and it's a way to gain a network, to gain exposure, and potentially, this is a potentially maybe even make some money from your acting work. And I'll announce that in next week's video. So stay tuned for that if that sounds like it's something that would interest you.